Hello, and welcome to the Saga of the Raccoon. I have this all set up, so I figure I might as well just tell the story now and then just put it all together with the video that I have once I'm done telling the story. So, I wrote down a lot of it to share with a few friends, so if I look like I'm reading, it's because I am, because there's a lot of stuff to go over, and it's kind of wacky. So, right at the end of June, I went on vacation. I did have someone coming over to check on the fluffy ones, one of which is back up here. Say hello to the people. Let them know you're here. So anyway, just to make sure that their food and water bowls weren't empty and all that other stuff, and that they hadn't just decided to go for a jaunt in general. I'm trying to close the Young's box here. Professional. So then I get home and I find things that are a little weird. It's just weird. A lot of weird little things. Like, first of all, the water bowl, completely empty. Absolutely empty, which I did not understand because this is a person I trust and I know, and and given how much water the bowl has to have in it, it would have had to have been ignored the entire time we were gone. So I didn't understand what happened there. And I had left the cat food bag out because they just kind of graze, and I wasn't worried about them tearing into it, but it had been torn into, at like multiple spots, which I thought was weird. And then there were like weird little muddy scrabblings at like a food bowl, but sometimes you have a cat that likes to do the whole digging by the food bowl thing, so I thought maybe it was one of them. But it was just one too many strange little things, and I wasn't sure what was going on, and I was tired, so I never bothered to ask him, like, hey, what's going on? And I probably should have. Anyway, so I just kind of, figured whatever and just sort of moved on. I did, however, have a bit of an inkling because it just seemed interesting, especially the muddy prints. I was like, that seems, suspect, if you know what I mean. So anyway, after settling back in the house, putting everything away, it's about 11 o'clock when a little gray head pops in through the cat door. Now I can see the cat door from where I sit in my living room. And at first I think it's Frank, because Frank is a gray cat and he's kind of got like raccoonish markings. He's a little stripy, his tail's stripy. And so I just kind of go, "Oh, hey Frank." And the longer I stare at this face, because the door is in the kitchen and it's dark in there because there's no lights, but there's still enough light from the living room that I realize, oh, this face in the door has a bandit mask. So there's a raccoon looking at us through the cat door. And he kind of just stares at me like, "Oh, you're back. Okay, great, cool. I'm gonna head out." And just pops right back out. And I think, this explains a lot. Because our cat babysitter hadn't been over like in the last day and a half or whatever, because everything was full and fine, and because the bowls of food were big and whatever. And that was enough time for that raccoon to just drink as much water as because it was hot that week. It was like high 90s, 100s, so he had plenty of time to just drink all the water he wanted, plus all the cats that come in here, because there's 4 of them. So yeah, everything made sense, and I was like, okay, well, I guess that's what happened, but now we're back, so, he's realized that humans are here, coming in here is no longer a great idea, and he won't be back, and problem solved, it's all over. I was wrong. I was extraordinarily wrong. In fact, he just kind of kept popping his head in every now and again at night, around like 11 or so, sometimes earlier, and he'd just pop in and then see us and then pop back out. And initially I'm thinking maybe that's it, and eventually he'll realize I can't come in, there are people in there. Yeah, as the week continues to go on, I discover interesting things like the food bowls are all empty at night. There are 3 food bowls, and while I do have the 2, I have Iverson and Ravioli, I also look after, loosely, Frank and Crow, who can come in and eat whenever they want, but they don't always because they also get food from my neighbor, because we both just kind of jointly look after them. So the food bowls are empty, and the water fountain is extraordinarily low, and I realize the raccoon is coming in when I'm asleep. So, he just moseys on in and has himself a veritable cat food buffet. So, this can't stand. We can't do this. So, for several nights, there are moments where, because now I'm aware that there's a raccoon in my house, it's interesting when you have pets, you realize the way they do things sound a particular way, and the way something else does something sounds completely different. So I've become attuned to what it sounds like when all the cats eat. It's just a very consistent crunching kind of noise, like I know the cats are eating. The raccoon, however, is a little bit different. And so now that I'm like realizing there's a raccoon in the house, I just kind of, I hear things and I'm like, he's in here. However, the raccoon has excellent hearing. He'll hear me rustle one sheet in the bed and he'll just pop out of the door and see me moving around and bolt for the door and leave. But he keeps coming back. So there are some times where I just kind of go right out of the bed and I go, now you think that alone would be enough to make a raccoon go, I should probably stop coming in here before the thing that's charging down the hallway going, eats my face. But apparently it's not. So finally, it's been just enough time to go by that I realize I need a trap, which sucks. Because the goblin noises just aren't cutting the mustard. There was one point in time where it was very early in the morning and I was very out of it, and I thought to myself, maybe I can catch him with Tiny Dog's kennel, which I still have and I still use to cart the cats around to the vets, even though it's like the less than stellar option. So I get it and I put it in front of the cat door and I think he'll come in again and I'll just close the door and then I've got him. This was not a good plan. It didn't work. The door, like, the kennel was too far from the door. The door was kind of up against the wall, so it wouldn't have been able to close. It was a mess. It was not a good plan. But I'm standing there, statuesque, watching the cat door. And sure enough, he comes back in. Even though he's already been in that night. Comes back in, looks around. Now I know he can smell me, and I know he can see me because his vision is infinitely better than mine. But I'm just not moving a muscle, so I think he figures things are strange, but I'm still safe. And at one point, right there, stands up, and he's like a foot away from me. This is not a good idea. Don't do this. This is very stupid. He could have decided he didn't like any of that. So he's standing up, so I'm basically standing next to Rocket Raccoon at this point. And then he realizes, like, oh, this is, everything cool is good here. So you know what? And he goes around the cage, and I realize this is, okay, alright. So then I move, and he's like, bolts out the door. So finally I'm like, okay, I need an actual catchy cage. Actual functional cage. Because after I weighed my options. I can lock the cat door at night. But that also locks Frank and Crow out, which, I mean, you know, kind of sucks for them. I can put the food away at night, but again, that leads to everybody being unhappy, including my cats. I was like, why just buy the live trap? To be honest, I started with the door locking first, and at one point I could hear him scrabbling at this door, just like trying to pry it open with his little raccoon fingers until realizing it's not going to work. So I kept doing that, but then it was like 4:30 and Iverson would like to go outside in the morning and yutz around, and he'd wake me up, and the whole point of getting the cat door in the first place was so they could go out in the morning and not wake me up so I could actually get some sleep. So I'm like, this isn't, I can't keep doing this. I can't. So finally, I buy the live trap. So it's a big live trap, big enough for a raccoon, and I set it out. So while I was on vacation, a raccoon decided to start using the cat door. So after many times of trying to get him to not use the cat door, locking it at night, then he comes in early in the morning after I let them out. It's been a whole thing. It's time for live trap. So it's got one of the ones with the plates. So tonight, or rather early in the morning, I'm gonna set this up, and after this one goes to go to the bathroom, if it comes in here, the only food source available to him will be in there. Hopefully I can catch him and then relocate him to a place with a little pond that's not owned by anyone. Nice area. We'll see what happens. Nothing happens. The raccoon doesn't come back. He doesn't appear. It's very confusing, because he'd been coming and showing up, and then all of a sudden I buy this trap, and he's gone. And I'm thinking maybe this is the universe playing some kind of joke on me. They're like, ha 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 ha. See, now that you have the trap, the raccoon's gonna go away, because that's how this works. So, I leave it open every night, and I'd been taking the food away, so I thought maybe the goblin noises and charging down the hall weren't doing it, but taking the food away does. Who knows? But I'm leaving the trap open all the time anyway, because why not? Who knows? Time continues to pass. And at one point, I did see a raccoon, but he wasn't in the house very long, and he heard me, and he ran out, and I go out, and I look out the window, and I flip the light on, and I see there's like an adult with 2 kids, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Are we sharing this information? Because this is not the same. The original raccoon was one raccoon, and he was like teen raccoon sized, which is how he was able to fit in the door. So I don't know what this family was doing, and I don't approve, and I hope they don't come back. Anyway, so I lend the trap to my dad, because he needs it to trap a squirrel who's too big for a squirrel trap, because he's just a fat boy, because he's been stuffing his face on the bird feeder that I bought my mom. And none of the birds are getting any seed, and my dad doesn't know what else to do. So they eventually catch him and release him into a nearby nature center woods area. So he's fine. That night that the trap isn't in my house, of course, Mr. Raccoon decides to make an appearance. And I'm like, okay, I need the trap back. Get the trap back. That night, nothing happens. What is happening? So, a couple nights go by, I continue to leave the trap out, because who knows, until we get to, finally, last night. Last night, at about 2 in the morning, Mr. Raccoon has returned. He's in there crunching, and I can hear him grabbing handfuls of food out of the metal cat dishes, and I think now is the time. However, there's a problem. All 3 cat food dishes are full. So I could wait for him to eat all of those and then get into the trap where the rest of the food is, because these guys are piglets, man. There's food opportunity. They're not leaving it behind. He'll eat all of it. But I don't want to wait, and I don't want to waste all my food waiting for him to eat it. And I'm like, if it's the one raccoon, he'll come back. Whatever. Get up. He runs away. After, like, every time I rustle the sheet, he popped out the door. Okay. Rustle a sheet. Rustle a sheet. So he kept bobbling back and forth. Finally, go out. He leaves. But I figure if this is the one raccoon, he'll come back in like 15-20 minutes, because the food's here now. Take the food away. Now the only food left is in the trap. He comes back after about 15-20 minutes, and sure enough, I finally hear it. The trap snapping shut. Well, back up. No. You don't need to be involved. Look who's been finally caught red-handed. Hi. You get to be relocated, my dude. How's it going? Cute though. You're still kind of small. Alright, so that's Mr. Raccoon. God, it's like 2-something in the morning, man. Heard you crunching. What do you guys, what do you care now? You weren't stopping him from coming in. Whatever. Oh, you get to hang out here for however long. I don't know what to do with you at 2 in the morning, but I gotta relocate you. Quiet. Alright. Have fun hanging out in there. You can eat the rest of the food if you want, but you're gonna be stuck in there. Unless you get loud, then I'm just gonna take you outside for a while. Okay? Okay. It's kind of funny, everyone's just kind of laying here. Sort of. I don't really know why. They didn't care he was in here eating. And we're just gonna lay in there. Okay, well if you're quiet. Cool. Weird dynamic we all got going on here, but it's 2:15 in the morning, so you have to wait until morning before you get to go anywhere, pal, because I'm tired. So huzzah! He's in the trap. And then I hear some scrabblings, and I think, oh no, clearly he's gonna want to try and get out. I'm worried that maybe he's gonna start digging at the carpet under the trap because it's soft and kind of pliable, so maybe he can get out that way because, you know, raccoon brain. So I get back up, and I go back into the room, and I see this. So I think I have to put Mr. Raccoon in his cage outside because I heard all these weird rustling noises, and I wake up and there's this happening. Where's this? Nope. He's pulling the blanket. Are you trying to make a nest or hide or? Can I have it back? Please? I don't know what you're doing. Like pulling it through the... What are you doing, man? What if I put it over? Does that make you scared? Or does that make you feel more secure? I don't know. I'll think of something. After flipping the blanket over, I go back into my room to try and think maybe I'll get some sleep. And then I think, you know what? He's probably just going to keep on digging away. I should probably put him outside. So I go back into the room, I take the blanket off, and I realize he's either taken a poopy or horked all over the floor where the blanket is, luckily. The blanket caught most of whatever it was. And I'm just like... So, I pick up the trap, which makes him not very happy. He kind of flips out a little bit. I carry the trap out way to the door, and along the way he makes even more of a mess. So I put him on the deck, and I go back inside, and now it's, I don't know what time it is, 2 something, and now I'm cleaning up raccoon pee and either poopy or hork. Who knows? I'm still not really sure. I'm thinking he just yacked out of sheer panic. But anyway, I'm cleaning up all this raccoon mess. And once I'm done, I finally decide, okay, he's outside, this is clean, I can go back to bed now. I have a window open. Apologize. So I go back to bed. But my brain is like, well, you're awake now. What are we going to bed for? We're awake. Let's do something. It's wake time. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. I want sleep. I ended up taking him outside, and the problem with catching critters inside your house, because then they do panic, pee, and poops. So, I just got done cleaning that up, and it's 4:11. Oh god, tired. So I do my best to put on things like babbling brook noises on my phone, and amidst the babbling brook noises, I hear strange banging noises. And I think, is that the raccoon? Yes! Yes, it's the raccoon! He's out on the deck, ladies and gentlemen, attempting to escape. Understandably. So I'm like, so I lay there for like another 10-15 minutes after going out and going, hey, you doing? You have to stay here until it's morning so I can see what I'm doing and I can take you out. Hey, psh, shh, shh. Like that's gonna do anything, but it's morning time and I don't know. So I go back to bed. Like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, who knows. And he just keeps it up and I'm like, ah. So then I think I'm worried about him scratching up the deck or whatever. So I get up again and I go outside again and I pick him up again. and I carry him down to the grass. Now he can be on the grass, and he can shuttle around all he wants, and I already see that he's bending pieces of the trap in his attempt to escape, and I'm like, as long as you don't injure yourself or break the thing and escape, great. Wonderful. Go back inside. Attempt to sleep. I don't have a good time. It isn't until about maybe 5 something that I finally fall asleep. And then Ravioli hops up on me at some point, and so I'm sleeping happily with him, and Iverson is at my feet. And then it's like 7 something and it's light out, and I think, and I start to wake up because it's light, and I realize sleep is forever out of my grasp. As much as I want to lay here some more and cuddle with the fluffy cats, I have work at 9 o'clock. I have things I need to do, etc., etc. And first and foremost is Raccoon. So, I get a tarp, I get dressed, reverse that. I get dressed, then I get a tarp, put the tarp in the car, fetch the raccoon. He's just really not happy at this point. To be fair, he's been in there for like 5 hours, so, carry him to the car and plunk him into the car after realizing he's just dug up so much grass. I look like I'm about to dispose of a body. Okay, with the tarp. But it's a good thing I put it down because someone decided to tear the crap out of the grass while the cage was sitting in the yard. Oh my god, I'm so tired. So then I drive him to a previous location that I have picked out for the sole purpose of relocating Raccoonage. And I get there, and I park, and I get ready to finally get rid of the stupid raccoon. Alright, the people want to see your release, so no grabby hands. He already potted my hand once. When I was doing this, I am not used to this vlogging type stuff at all. Okay. Alright. Hey, oh boy. Boy, you really bent up that thing too. Great, cool, awesome. Hope I don't ever have to use this again, because now I can't, I don't think. Alright. Yeah, I know, you hate life and everything. I'll do that so people can see. You're fine. Stay away from my hands, please. Hey! Oh my god. I'm literally trying to let you out. Race, let's go. It's open. So he went off that away. Off into the ether. Now I have to dump out all this grass. And this is the part that attaches. Oh my gosh. This is supposed to be straight. And this attaches to the panel that's in here. I have to dump all this out. You suck, dude. I need a nap. Alright, bye buddy. I'm out of here. Peace. Thanks for eating all my cat food. You suck. For the record, I didn't know raccoons made those kinds of angry noises. I'd never heard one, so that first one startled me, and I was like, please don't eat my fingers, I just want to let you out and let you run around in here so I can go home. And theoretically maybe have coffee, which I didn't do. I didn't have coffee because the place I wanted to go to wasn't open today, and I don't know why. But anyway, here I am now, telling you about the raccoon and all that entails, and why he was in my house, and how long it took to catch him, which I don't know how long that was, because I got back home in the beginning of July, so it's been a hot minute with this whole raccoon fiasco. But that's the story of the raccoon, being in my house, eating the cat food, and drinking the water, like frickin' Goldilocks, like he owns the place. Rude. I hope you have a good life, raccoon. I put you in a nice spot. There's a little pond there. There's plenty of trees. Lots of countryside. You're just gonna have to do without the cat food. Sorry.